here for the very first Philly Zoo at 2. This is what we're going to be doing every weekday, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. We're going to be sharing some insider scoops with all of you at home while you stay safely at home. We're taking care of everything here at the zoo, and we're so happy to share that with you. Our first guest is right over here. It's Breezy. Breezy boy, hi. Here you go, bud. Oh, job. So Breezy is here with Rebecca. Rebecca is his keeper. Breezy is a Saanen goat. All right, tell us a little bit about Breezy. Like, he's, first of all, look at him. He's gigantic. This is a big goat.
Look at this guy.
He's so big. Okay, so do you know how much he weighs?
He's about 100 a little over 100 kgs, which I believe goes to about maybe 300 pounds, something like that.
So he's a big boy, yeah.
Yeah.
And what are we feeding him right there?
Right now I have their favorite food. Ooh. Let me see if I can. There we go. Some Remoulade. That's the grain that all of our goats and sheep eat here at the zoo.
Now this is interesting because unfortunately still people think that goats will eat anything you put in front of them.
Oh, I know.
And that's not actually true, right? What do we typically feed our goats here?
Well, they get their grain, and then actually the bulk of their diet is some of that stringy stuff you'll see in the yard. Timothy hay.
Big bowl right behind you.
Yep. Big bowl of it right there. So that makes up a big chunk of their diet.
So generally speaking, goats are probably healthier than most of us.
I think so. Yeah. He's a lot healthier than I do.
Now, one of my favorite things about them is their teeth. Can you tell us more about that?
So Breezy doesn't have any top teeth in the front. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because he doesn't open his mouth very well.
Yeah.
But he does only have teeth in the front, of course, on the bottom. And that helps him to kind of scrape and scoop up the grass. He does have both top and bottom sets of those back teeth, those molars, and that's what helps grind up that hay or that grass, or in this case, the grain.
Yeah.
Helps them get it down into their bellies.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I'm glad you brought up the bellies. Mm-hmm. That's another one of my favorite things about goats. Goats are really weird. Everybody thinks they know a goat, and then you actually learn about them. What's up with their stomachs?
All right, so Breezy is very nice and trim right now, but
this is trim for a goat.
Yes, you will sometimes see some of our other goats. Their sides might bulge out a little bit more. They have to have enough room in there to hold a 4-chambered stomach. So 4 big chambers in there. They need a lot of room for it, and one of them is a fermentation chamber or a gas chamber. Not the gas like we think of,
yeah.
But it does kind of blow up their sides a little bit. So sometimes you will see goats that are a little bit puffy on the sides. They're not pregnant. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not extremely fat or anything. It's just them digesting their food.
That's exciting. Good for you, Breezy. Now, Breezy we brought him out special for a couple of reasons. But first, it's because he knows all sorts of really cool behaviors.
Yeah, he does.
Right? And training is really important. So why don't we show off some of those behaviors? But to start, we're actually going to walk Breezy over to a different part of Kids Zoo U. So we're going to go for a little walk with Breezy so you can see how well he follows Rebecca here. Now, while Rebecca is walking with Breezy, I can tell you a little more about this, and that's because when you're working with an animal and you're training them, you really need to focus your complete undivided attention on that animal. So while Rebecca has all of the information she needs to tell you all about Breezy and what she's doing with him right now, it's much better for me to tell you that because I'm not the one working with a giant 300-pound goat. So that was very easy. All we did was just continue to give him snacks as we walked over here. So Rebecca, tell us a couple of other things that we can do with Breezy.
Breezy, since he is so large, I do need to get a good look at his body to make sure he's healthy. So he can spin around in a circle for me. All right, can you go the other way? All right, and I can get a really good look at his condition, at his hair, make sure he's nice and clean. See if he's got any little scratches or anything on him. And then another behavior we can do is check his feet. So this is, they're a little muddy because it is very rainy today. We'll do the other one really quick. Thank you. So I can kind of just look at his feet and get a feel for how the condition that his hooves are in. It's also really cute to give a handshake.
And that's actually important to note, is that we train every animal at the Philly Zoo that can be trained is trained to do something, but we don't, it's not just for funsies, right?
It's not just
important.
For funsies. Yeah. Yes, it's very important. It helps the animals participate in their own care. So again, he spun in a circle, super cute, but he's showing me his body and letting me check it out. We talked about goats eating anything in their teeth. Breezy kind of knows what he can and can't eat, so let's ask him and see what he likes to eat. Do you like to eat carrots? Oh, we like carrots. And guess what? I have a couple for you.
Oh my gosh.
Now
Carrots are special.
the other one is tin cans. You've heard that before? Breezy, do you eat tin cans? No, you do not. Good boy.
So we are getting a couple of questions from our viewers on Facebook.
Sure.
How fast can goats run?
Oh.
He can run faster than me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
That's the best way to measure it. Is like we know they're faster than we are.
They're faster. He's faster than me. He knows exactly where the grain lives over at the stable. And if he gets any little chance, he takes off and can find it. And then there's me running after him, going Breezy, Breezy.
Yeah.
So.
Another question we got is how tall is Breezy?
Oh.
Let's see. I'm 5'5", so almost four something.
It's 4'10".
But
Ken, yeah.
But
Let's show you just how big Breezy really is.
What?
There he goes.
There we go.
Now this is really cool because if Breezy were living in the wild and he were trying to find food, you gotta imagine he'd be looking for all sorts of fun plants to eat, and he would be really excited to find those really tasty leaves at the tops of trees. So being able to jump up like that and to crawl up things enables him to find better food for himself.
Yeah.
Right, buddy? Now
So
there's
good.
something else that's really special about Breezy, and that's why we brought him out today.
Yeah.
It was his birthday yesterday!
Oh, it's his birthday!
Happy birthday, Breezy!
Well, we can have
Yeah.
Breezy tell us how old he is. You guys ready? All right, come here, bud. Breezy, how old are you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Good boy! So Breezy's 8 years old. I've known Breezy since he came here to the zoo. Sometimes he eats his beard.
Yeah, he
it's very
does,
long
yeah.
and luscious. Yeah, but I've been working with Breezy ever since he came here to the zoo when he was less than 6 months old.
Yeah.
So and believe it or not, he was about this big.
Yeah, I know.
So, good boy.
And he grew up very, very quickly. Now, we actually brought a special, not a birthday cake for Breezy, but we brought him a
obviously
special
kitty
birthday
cake.
treat, right? Can I go get it for him?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Oh my God, Breezy!
Oh my goodness! Happy birthday, Breezy! Look!
Oh, here we
look at that!
Wow, he's gonna eat this really fast.
Yeah, he is.
He's like overwhelmed with joy right now.
So as you can see, you got some carrots in there, a little bit of apple.
We'll get you the ones that you dropped.
Fruits and veggies are some of the great treats for these guys. Of course, we don't give them, a ton of them because it is kind of like sweets are to us. So
They're special for birthdays.
yeah, these are special for Breezy's 8th birthday.
Hi.
Yeah.
Another question we got on Facebook is where do goats live in the wild?
Oh, that's a great question. So there's actually a couple of different type of wild goats. Now, sodden goats are not a wild goat species. They are a breed of goat that was bred by humans. So much like our breeds of dogs and cats at home, there are breeds of goats. And some of them are more common than others. But wild goats actually live in a number of different regions and are typically found in mountainous regions. I'm sure most of you have heard of mountain goats. This is actually one of my favorite things about goats. They, you may have noticed when we pulled up his feet earlier, we showed you that he actually has some pretty cool looking hooves. But what you don't see, I don't know if you can hear that, but our lemurs are outside today. They're having a blast. They're very loud. So what's cool about goat feet, and the reason that they can walk on those mountaintops is because they have special hooves that are almost like suction cups. So when they walk, they actually have a little squishy bit that comes out as they walk. And you might be able to see a little bit in there, how their hooves are a little bit separated there.
They're a little dirty.
So when he walks, those two pieces will split apart a little bit, and some squishier bits will come down and will actually help them stick to the ground, which is pretty remarkable. So a lot of goats that live in the wild live in mountainous regions all over the world, and they have such good footing because of that really incredible adaptation that they have there. Oh, you ate all your birthday cake. I'm sorry.
Yay!
Another question we got is how do we train Breezy to do certain behaviors?
So all of the training that we do here at the zoo is through positive reinforcement and operant conditioning. So essentially, if Breezy does something that I like or I want him to continue to do, I'll catch him doing it and I'll say, oh my God, good job. And I'll give him lots and lots of treats. And that increases the likelihood that he'll want to do that behavior again. You can also shape behaviors by just kind of getting them to do little things a little bit at a time, gradual learning. So with the hoof, I mean, I know he definitely gives it to me now, but before I had to kind of touch it, then I had to lift it a little bit, then lift it, and then finally it got to the point where I just presented my hand and he would give me his hoof.
Yeah.
So lots of steps, lots of baby steps. We don't learn all at once.
No.
So same thing with these guys.
Yep.
They do something we like, we give them lots and lots of treats for it, and it's always likely they'll do it again.
And that's actually a fun game that you can play at home with your friends and family.
Oh, yeah.
We sometimes do this thing called clicker training, and you find something that somebody really likes, whether it's a special treat or a snack. Sometimes we just use applause because everybody likes to get applause, right? And what you do is you don't tell them the behavior that you want them to do. You just put them on stage and see how long it takes them to figure it out. So, for example, you might be home with your family right now, and if you encourage them to play this game, one of you might have in your mind that you want someone to spin in a circle, for example. And that's, in your mind, you know. And then the rest of your family knows, but the person who's being trained, they don't know what it is. It's kind of like charades, but everybody else has the clue, and you don't. But when they finally figure it out, you clap for them, and that's exactly how you learn to do a new behavior. It's the same thing we do with our animals.
And Breezy, he's very clever.
Yes,
very, very clever. So he's very intelligent. He trains very well, but he's very clever, so he can be a little sneak sometimes.
That's the most, honestly, my favorite part about working with animals and training them is that sometimes it's really easy and you get an animal that gets it down in like 30 seconds. Then, like this guy. And then sometimes they learn a little faster than you. And they start training you instead. Oh,
yeah.
Just on my foot there, bud.
Yeah, so he's got me trained just a little bit.
He's got all of us trained because he's so cute.
Yes, he is.
Know. We love you, Breezy.
8-year-old Breezy, good boy.
Oh my gosh.
Another question we got, and these kind of go together. How long can his teeth get, and how much does he eat in a day?
Oh.
So he could probably eat, and I apologize, we do all of our stuff here in kilograms. So he can get up to 2 kilograms of hay a day.
It's a built-in math lesson. No worries.
I know, right?
Yeah.
About 2 kegs of hay. He'll get about 500 grams of grain, and then in addition, he can always have actually as much hay as he wants. So some days he might eat a little less or a little more. Today he's getting a little bit more, and right now he's like, "You're not feeding me quick enough."
It's a special day.
It's very special. I'm sorry. What was the second?
Oh, how long? Yeah.
So their teeth, it's a shame that I can't actually get them to show it. They're, those bottom ones are about that long, depending on the size of the goat.
And one thing that people might be wondering is whether or not their teeth grow continuously, like some other animals that we have here. And goats do not have teeth that do that. Like, they don't need to grind them down or shave them down like rabbits and other rodents and things like that. Shouldn't have said other rodents. Rabbits aren't rodents, but you know what I mean. His teeth are like ours. We don't need to go get them filed down every once in a while. We're all good.
And they actually can lose their baby teeth. We had some young goats in the yard that, as they were growing up here, would lose a couple of their front teeth, and then they would regrow just like we do when we're growing up.
Yeah.
Another question, which I'm not sure I would know the answer to, is why does Breezy have a beard?
Oh! Sometimes we don't know.
A lot of our goats in the yard do or do not have beards. We also have females that have big beards like this. No clue.
Usually,
he's going to explore a little bit.
Usually with something like that on an animal, like a beard, everybody will come up with some reason for it, and there's probably been studies done. It probably has something to do with making them more attractive to other goats, let's be honest. But really, we don't know. Sometimes we don't know everything here. We do our best. But a lot of these things are just a little bit of a mystery. Yeah.
So here's one you might have an answer to. Does Breezy have friends?
Ooh.
Yes. The 2 smallest goats in the yard, they were our youngsters that were born here. They'll be 2 years old this July. Kari and Mirabelle. They're also in training to do some of these behaviors and then some cool show behaviors that we'll be able to, one day showcase. He hangs out with those girls all the time, and they're
that big.
Oh, buddy, good boy.
Hi. You're so eager to learn.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we like Breezy. He's fun.
He's just gonna shove his head in my pouch. That's okay.
Yeah, that's
He knows where the grain is.
Yeah, he learns pretty quickly.
So another question is, does he sleep lying down or standing up?
Lying down. Yep. He's actually curled up into some really cute positions before, and drape his little head over his backside. So he will sleep curled up, much like our dogs and cats at home do.
I did catch him taking a little snooze earlier today, and he was just standing there, and then as he was standing there, his eyes just very slowly closed, and then he didn't move for 10 minutes. So So I think sometimes, just like we do, sometimes you just got to take a little rest,
Yeah.
you know? Self-care, Breezy. Good job.
He's just gonna graze on everything I dropped. Hey, bud.
He's in a safe place right now. He can wander around a little if he wants.
And he's
so.
used to being out here. He comes out to perform a lot.
Hi, buddy.
Yeah, we go for walks.
He does like going for walks. We took him for a walk yesterday. Or the other day. Yeah. What other questions do we got coming in?
So, can goats become attached to certain people like dogs do?
Oh yeah. It's her goat. It's her goat. It's true.
Yeah, they get used to us. They realize that we give them good things, that we work well with them. Like I said, I've been working with Breezy since he came here, less than 6 months old. So we have a very, very good relationship, a very long relationship. So.
Now, what's great about goats is that they are very, very social creatures,
Yes.
both with other goats and really with anybody. Like a goat can befriend just about anyone or any species, and that's why we once we're all able to come back out. Oh, hi, buddy. Once we're all able to come back out and enjoy the nice bright sunshine out here, we do have a goat petting yard that you can come into. Breezy will be in there. Because goats actually like being around people to a certain degree. So we can kind of guide you through this experience where we tell you where Breezy likes to be touched and where he doesn't. He doesn't like being touched on the top of his head. He likes being touched on his back. So once we're all able to open back up and we're able to welcome you back through our gates, you can come and visit Breezy and all of his friends. And you can come in and enjoy our contact yard and give our goats all of the love that they deserve. So I think that just about wraps it up for today. Now we're going to be doing this every weekday, Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock. This is the Philly Zoo at 2. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for a new special animal guest.
Bye, Breezy.
Bye, Breezy. Happy birthday.